How come other runners don't get this awful knee pain on their runs? Like, my knees would hurt after just a few miles. When I first got into running, I dreamed of running a marathon, but anything over 10 miles was just too painful on my knees. The doctors told me to rest, and so I did, and I went to physical therapists. They got me to do like glute bridges and foam rolling, and so I did those too. But the pain would always come back if I tried to run more than just a few miles, and I started asking myself, like, are these exercises even helping? And like, how am I supposed to build up to higher mileage if I keep resting? And the worst one was like, am I doing permanent damage to my knees by continuing to run, even though it's painful? And I was so frustrated, and I stopped going to PT because it wasn't helping anyway. And the funny thing is that I'm actually a physical therapist myself. So you would think that I would know how to fix my knee pain, but at the time I didn't. So I dove into the research. I started reading hundreds of research papers about knee pain and running and injuries. And what I found really shocked me. The way that traditional healthcare treats running injuries is dead wrong, frankly. It turns out they're all focused on the symptoms and none of them are really getting to the root cause. But after a lot of trial and error, I was able to discover 3 critical components to pain-free running. And once I fixed those, then I started to see progress. My long runs got longer, 10 miles, 16 miles, 20 miles. I was running faster, I was leaner, I was stronger, and best of all, there was no knee pain at all. And 9 months later, I managed to cross the finish line at the Montreal Marathon. It was an amazing experience. My wife was there to greet me at the finish line with a beaming smile on her face, and I was so proud. And then something quite unexpected happened. I started using the 3 critical components in the clinic in my work as a physical therapist with the runners who were coming in with running injuries. And they got a lot better quickly. Their knee pain improved. It disappeared. They could run further and faster. They could run as far as they wanted. And so I started a podcast to share what I'd been learning and what I'd discovered in the 3 critical components. And runners from all around the US started reaching out for help. So I adapted the program so it would work online. And to my surprise, it actually worked even better once it was transformed into a fully online program. And since then, I've helped hundreds of runners get rid of knee pain and back to full training without rest, injections, surgery, or wasting their time on exercises that aren't working, stretching and foam rolling and that kind of stuff. Imagine waking up on a Sunday and like lacing up your shoes and just heading out for a long run, running mile after mile without worrying about knee pain. Like, it is possible. My name's Matthew Boyd. I'm a physical therapist. I'm also a running coach and the founder of Fix My Running, where we help injured runners get back to pain-free running. And the Fix My Running program fixes knee pain by focusing on the root cause instead of just trying to treat the symptoms. Like I said, it's those 3 critical components. And if you want to fix knee pain with running, you have to first identify which of those components is the primary problem for you. So the first is it could be your form, because certain biomechanics will channel the impact forces into the knee and actually cause the knee pain. And the second thing it could be is the muscular strength, because if you have a muscular strength deficiency or imbalance in the running musculature, then the knees will always hurt. And finally, there's resilience, which is the hardest to understand and is the one that's all but ignored by traditional healthcare. But if you imagine the first 2 and you had perfect running form and you had really strong muscles, like you looked like a bodybuilder, but then you didn't run. You didn't run at all, and then you tried to run a marathon. Like, obviously your knees are going to hurt. And that's because they haven't been trained to have the resilience to tolerate the impact forces they're going to experience. And this is why resting when you have knee pain with running is such a problem, because it just lets the knees get weaker. And so we fix knee pain by getting to the root cause, by identifying which of these 3 critical components is the primary problem, fixing that, and then optimizing all of them. So we analyze your form and optimize it so that you're not channeling the impact forces into the knee. We also build a tailored strength and mobility program to strengthen and rebalance the running muscles to offload the knees. And finally, we design a customized return to running program that uses running as the rehab to build you back up to full training safely. And this is the opposite of what most healthcare practitioners prescribe, which is resting the knees to make them feel better. And we plan all of this around your schedule with your equipment so it fits nicely into your lifestyle, because then you'll keep doing it long term. And that way you can keep training into your 70s, 80s, and 90s without worrying about damaging your knees. Sound a bit too good to be true? It's not. It's just good science combined with good coaching. There is no fancy magic trick or gimmick or product. It's worked for hundreds of our runners, and it can work for you too. It worked for Bridget. Her knee pain was so bad that she wasn't running at all in spite of 7 months of physical therapy. And within a couple of months, she was back to running 5 times a week with no knee pain once we addressed the critical components that were holding her back. It worked for Stephen. He was told by his doctor to quit running because of the arthritis on the scans. And 2 months later, he ran his fastest 10K and was running 4 times a week with no knee pain whatsoever. And it worked for Jessica. She'd had knee pain and swelling the day after any time she ran longer than 15 miles. And she's a trail ultra runner, so when she would do a race, it was agony for her afterwards. But within 3 months of working with us, she won a 38-mile trail race and had no knee pain or swelling or any other symptoms in the days afterwards. Like I said, it's not magic. It's just a science-backed, proven process that's worked for hundreds of our runners, and it can work for you too. The first step is to identify which of the 3 critical components is your primary problem: form, strength, or resilience. And for a limited time, you have the opportunity to find out which of the 3 components is your problem completely free of charge. You can click the link to book a free evaluation call, and with a few simple questions, we'll be able to identify which of the 3 critical components is your issue, so you'll know where to focus your rehabilitation efforts. You can use that information to then address the knee pain on your own or with your local providers. However, you'll also have the opportunity to chat with us more about our program and how we might be able to help you get back to running as fast as possible. Now, there's no catch here. We know that many of the runners who we talk to, once we've identified the critical components that cause their issue and laid out a plan for them to get back to pain-free running, they'll want our help to do that as fast as possible. But if you don't, if you want to go out and try it on your own, then that's totally fine. But at least then you'll know what you need to focus on. But our program is growing quickly, and realistically, we're not going to be able to offer this opportunity indefinitely. So click the link below, book a call for this week, find out exactly which of the critical components is your issue so you know where to focus your rehabilitation efforts, and let's get you back to running pain-free as fast as possible.